these guys will be leaving soon.
Thanks, Nate.
For the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
It's going to open up a lot of things.
How many guys are leaving, Jimmy?
19.
19. Yeah.
Whoa.
Is that unbelievable?
Man.
Too many.
19.
Well, you get a lot of work from a lot of guys that
you mean your whole team's
can
gone?
do some damage.
It's not all like, I mean, there will be a significant portion of starters that go, but frankly it's good. I mean, they're going to be playing in competitive games, which I think is solid. They'll have some competitive at bats, and then it gives with this much competition in camp, it's going to give guys a real good look.
Yeah,
I like it. I don't love pitchers at the World Baseball.
Why? I was getting into this with a buddy of mine. I think that is like, are all of a sudden pitchers China dolls? They can't go pitch
from China.
That's embarrassing. I think the sport has a bad rap when it comes to, well, they can't go do something on the world stage because they might get hurt. Like, what are these boys, wrapped in bubble wrap? Good God.
Whether or not you like the way baseball is today, that's how it's become.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to stick up for it.
Man, we're just having a discussion. It's managing innings. Now, all of them will admit they had to change their workout routines because usually at spring training you kind of ease into high leverage situations. If you're suddenly representing a team at the World Baseball Classic, certainly the blood is flowing, the adrenaline's flowing. It's more of a leverage situation. You have to prepare. I don't think it means you're going to get injured by any stretch, but if you're going to get injured, I'd rather you get injured playing for the team that we all root for, aside from Team USA and in Cam's case, Team Canada.
They did treat me good up there. I'm not going to lie to you.
I know they did. I'm just saying that would be a concern of mine. I'm not against it by any stretch, but I think it's a legitimate concern with pitchers.
Well, the teams say that. John Mozeliak said that.
What the hell's wrong with them?
Well, fired up today, Nate. They are kind of wimpy when it comes to that. I get what you're saying. But on the other hand, you're paying them a lot of money. I don't know, man.
Dude, they don't even want them to throw 200 innings in the regular season.
I know.
Let alone in March.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all that baseball is these days, is limiting innings to keep those guys fresh for the playoffs.
A couple things. So I did notice the pitch clock. A couple guys kind of got frustrated with different things. What do you guys think of the pitch clock? Did you like it? What are you thinking?
Everyone looks at the game times, 2:30, 2:36, and love it.
Hell yeah.
But it will take some getting adjusted, we saw a game ending where a guy got a strike because he wasn't in the box ready to hit alert or however
damn box.
they phrase it. Yeah, I think they'll adjust, and I think overall, look, I'm a purist. I get it. Why some people don't love that stuff, but I do think a shorter, more action-packed game will make for a better product, and I think everyone involved will adjust. Am I wrong?
I actually read an article where the whole crux is, if you're a purist, you should love this. This is how baseball always was. Baseball used to be 2.5 hours.
Yeah, man.
Get the ball and throw it. That's how the sport always was until the Red Sox and the Yankees started playing on Sunday Night Baseball and adjusting your batting gloves for 47 seconds for 4.5-hour games. Baseball always used to be like 2.5 hours.
Well, they also didn't go to the bullpen as much back in the day. Now you have specialty relievers and all that. Back then it was, hey, Moose, go out and throw 9 innings even though you have 9 cartilage tears in your arm.
You don't have an elbow.
You don't want to be selling furniture, so get out there.
You like that clock, Nate? Sped the game up a little bit? What are you thinking?
I think it's sad that we had to get to this point, but, I mean, they had to do something. These games were just lacking any sort of pace whatsoever. And I think the term that Max Scherzer used when he was asked about it was how I think every pitcher should think about attacking hitters. He gets to force action. And that's really what the game is trying to get more of. They don't have enough action. I think there was a study done a couple of years ago by Sports Illustrated that said that the average time in between balls put in play in baseball was like 3.5 minutes, which is insane. That is insane.
Yeah. Gino chimes in.
Randy!
Oh, hi, Randy.
Hey, how you guys doing there?
What up?
Hey, I'm going to ask you guys a question there. Who's this Pittsburgh Penguins forward? They got Kapanen or what is it?
Kasper Kapanen. Yeah, he's a Finnish kid. He's a young kid. He's making 3.5 there.
So basically, it was a swap of a barbershop for Kapanen, I guess.
Well, you got him off waivers. Might as well pick this kid up. You got cap room. See what he could do.
Right. But I mean, but wouldn't you rather have Barbershop on your team? I mean, this guy's physical. He's got more hits.
Well, yeah, of course you would. But
There are
Barbie's
price
gonna,
tags.
he's got to have a big price tag, and Barbie wants to go win. Now he's in Vegas, and they have a chance to possibly go far in the playoffs. I don't know.
And this guy, Cato Kalin, they picked up is pretty good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Pittsburgh's just dumping players, and we're just
Casper
picking up
Kapanen.
Yeah, Casper Kapanen. There we go. Hey, let me ask you a question there. Petrangelo came by and really gave a good shout out to Barbershop. He said he's the type of player that you can win. Isn't it kind of a shot to the Blues? But Petrangelo.
No, it's more of a shot like Barbie. Barbie was a big piece of winning a couple years ago. That's what that means.
How's that a shot at the Blues?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, there.
All right.
This pitch count is not going to work. Most fans have attention span of a snail. They're going to after the first pitch, they're already on their phones and ready to look at get them drunk about the seventh inning. Hey, by the way, do they still have the seventh inning drunk stretch or whatever? Everybody gets up and stretches out.
Do they, Jimmy?
drunk?
They still have the seventh inning stretch. I don't know if it's a drunk stretch, but I've heard it as the seventh inning stretch, and they still do that. It's still tradition.
Still there.
Hey, by the way, there's Cat Hayes there. I bet you the fans left the turnstile. You have enough. If they had a detector, they detect enough alcohol to open up a beverage out there. Aha.
I don't know what he said, but touche.
Wow.
Thanks, Randy.
Wow.
What the hell did he say?
I looked this up, by the way. Average game time, go back to the early 70s, 2.5 hours. Now, if you want to go back to like World War II, 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, there's a different look. I get trying to make it shorter, and part of the two of not having balls in play is a lot of strikeouts too, that cause that time to go up. But I think it's a good idea to try to change the pace of game. So we'll give it a. I don't love all the rules, as again, I'm sort of an old school purist, but now I sort of like the DH, so I can change with the times.
The pitch clock is stupid. Throw strikes and hit for contact, not for home run every time, Gino. No, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't the way it always was. Pitchers pitched to contact and didn't throw 6 pitches per at bat.
We were talking about game times.
Well, he's saying if you're pitching to contact. The truth is, I mean, back in the day, pitchers would just try to get through the early innings. They weren't throwing their best stuff because they knew they had to go 9 innings. Now, pitchers come out ready to go because if they go 5 or 6, they've done their job. It's a different game, and that makes it longer, along with other things, too.
I agree with Kat on this one. I do not like seeing 2 pitchers that break down every season by the end of the year going and starting pitching competitively earlier, Spartan 4-4.
Now, Mo has said that he's not a fan of it, but it is what it is. But talking to the guys that are doing it, they feel like this will just be part of their preparation for the regular season. They just had to get ready a little differently this year. They think they're going to be fine, so we'll see.
I love that Walker hit that homer off Kung Fu Cueto. You know, somewhere Jason LaRue was cheering Jobu. Kung Fu
Or maybe
Cueto.
Jason wasn't watching at all.
The hell is he talking
Hanging
about?
out on a tractor.
What's up with the Army or Ollie Marmol? Kind of chirping that
CB Buckner.
CB Buckner.
So he went up to
What's with
CB
that? Yeah.
because they had the issue last year and was like, went to shake his hand like an adult would
Like
do.
an adult, yeah.
CB didn't want to shake it. And Ollie don't shy away from that. He's like, no class. You got no class.
Some of those umpires, man.
It ain't about them.
It's not about you, damn it.
And anytime
God,
you
I
have
hate
an
that.
issue, which we've had on the show, which you have in real life, you move past it.
Yeah. You
Like,
baby.
Like an adult.
What's wrong with
Right?
him, Jimmy?
MLB should probably have a little conversation there. You can't do that. You can't not shake hands with a manager
baby.
that you have to manage, that you have to ump his games for the rest of the year.
Can't do it.
That's a really bad luck.
And what
It
he
is
said last
stupid.
time basically was, you haven't been around here very long. You know, like, it's not like Ollie went out and ripped him. He, like, prodded Ollie. And Ollie said, well, you've been around a long time and you're not very good anymore. And that got him ticked off.
I like Ollie, man. Call his ass out. It ain't about you. What are you in high school? You're not going to shake his hand, you baby.
You're supposed to
Piss me
umpire our
off.
game. Grow up.
Just umpire and shut up. Good God.
Not doing it.
No.
Excuse me, can you shut the hell up, please?
Yeah, shut up and get back there. Do your job, you wimp. I do like the Ghost run a rule in extra innings that protects journeyman bullpen arms, Jackie Parlays. What do you think, Charlie?
I've said this about all these rule changes in sports. I don't care if you do a lot of this stuff and try it out in the regular season. As long as in the playoffs, when it really matters, you don't do the crazy stuff.
Don't do the crazy
And that's
stuff.
what these teams do.
There you
Same
go.
with hockey. You don't do the 3-on-3.
Hell
you
no.
don't have the ghost runner in Major League Baseball postseason.
Hell no.
The regular season, for the most part, it's entertainment. They used to have a couple teams get in the playoffs. Now every sports league, like everybody gets in, half the teams get in. As long as the playoffs are the old school rules, I'm good with it.
I hate the ghost runner. To me, it's like giving up. You know, why not just spin a wheel? You know, like
Spin. It always
you
comes back to
think about it, like
always comes back to spinning a wheel.
that's what it is. You
hear
do
you.
rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Like you put a runner at second. Like you play up until that point where it runs sometimes are hard. You have very good pitching. We'll just stick a runner at second.
Let's put him up there.
I don't like that.
Put him at third.
The other rules I'm fine with. I get them. The bases are pretty jumbo now. I don't know if you watch the game. You can see the difference. I think they're like 4 foot by 4 foot now. They're big, and I get it. But the Ghost Runners one, I can't stomach.
What don't you like, Nate? What else are you pissy about?
I'm not really sure I get the bigger bases. Can somebody inform me as to why? Is that going to be for a safety protocol or
More offense?
I think there's a number of reasons. One, you avoid second base collisions, right? Or sometimes at third. Also, maybe you see more base stealing, which is an exciting play.
Yeah.
Easier to get there. I think there's a number of reasons. So I get that one. I mean, it looks a little different when you see it for the first time, but I get that one. So I'm fine with that.
I do hope that a byproduct of some of these, the pitch clock and the bases, because I've heard that about stealing. I think it'd be great if the running game was brought back into the sport.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
It
no
is.
doubt.
And there's going to be more weight put on the shoulder of the catchers now, because the pitcher can't just keep throwing over to first base. So the catcher is going to have to be a big part of the defense, keeping the runner at first base at bay to a certain extent.
Speaking of catcher, go ahead, Charlie.
Well, no, even though it's only, 3 inches in terms of going from a 15-inch base to an 18-inch base, on a lot of bang-bang plays, that all of a sudden gives the advantage to the offensive
yep.
team. I wonder also, because I always thought, that in the neighborhood play, which back in the day, they didn't want guys to get blown up, but then they took it way too far where dudes weren't even close to the base. But then when the replay system came in, I think it created a problem that they didn't see coming, which was on almost every single steal play, the dude either puts his foot or his hand on the base, and just because you're a 200-pound person running fast, it comes off the base for a split second. I don't think that's why they created replay, but then when you look at it, yeah, that hand or foot comes off for just a millisecond, and then if you're holding the glove there, the guy's out.
Yep.
And I wonder if the larger base will also decrease that a little bit.
Because you did everything to beat him, but your momentum just takes you off the bag a little bit, and they just wait for you.
Hold the tag.
Hold the tag, Jimmy. That's what I said to him. Hold that damn tag.
And the outlawing of the shift seems to be, at the early part of spring training, seems to be providing the results they were looking for. And this is my thing, again, as an old timer. I always figured baseball was cyclical, because we've seen it where different stats are different, hold different importance one year than they do in the other. And I always felt like, baseball will fix it. So if you're teaching younger players not about launch angle, not about either homer or strikeout, which is kind of what the league has become, and you're teaching players to use the whole field so that they can take advantage of the shift, then we would see less shift and baseball would fix itself. But baseball decided not to do that.
Yeah.
Because it used to be hitters were trained to use the whole field. So if there was no one at third, hitters were in a much better position to just send one that way and get on base. But if you're teaching them launch angle and drive the ball left center, right center, it's a different game.
Chuck,
Yes.
pitches per at bat affect game time. Genius.
What were we talking about? We were talking about the average game time.
There's no. First of all, I think you read it a little hard. Again, sometimes you read the text like someone's yelling at.
Gino.
I think
No,
the
he's
point
yelling at
is,
us.
if you're pitching to contact, you probably don't have as many 3-2 counts and foul balls with more action in there.
The whole
I think
point,
that's his point.
Okay. The whole point is minimizing, decreasing the game times.
Yeah.
Which, as I've said, people go, I'm a purist. Well, then you should like shorter games. The games were always much shorter.
I love Nate, but that was the dumbest question he's ever asked. Bigger bases? The Mad Marine.
What was dumb? The text line's
You're
too
getting
hard.
about it, and I don't like it. Although you might be a Marine.
We're just
I gotta give you-
talking. No one today has asked a dumb question. We'll wait.
Not
till
yet.
We'll wait till Jordan Walker
Not
comes on.
yet.
I don't even have a problem with the bases. I was just trying to see if there was an explanation given for why.
Oh, that's funny.
There's a lot going on. The
There's a
text
lot
line should
going
be
on.
happy.
I know. Be happy. 855
City won.
8255.
Cardinals had a big win. We got Jordan Walker.
We got
coming
first round
on.
picks out the wazoo. Come on.
Jake Paul lost.
Jake
I know
Paul
a lot
lost.
of people don't like him.
I'm glad he lost. I'm glad he
The
lost.
Blues
How
are
strong you wanna
rebuilding.
come at
The
it,
Blues
guys?
are rebuilding. What? Why make guys like Gallegos throw hold on. Hold on. Why make
Gallegos is not throwing 5 innings.
5 innings out of the blue in a crazy extra inning game when you'd rather lose and protect his arm? Jackie Parlays, that's a question. I read that wrong. Should I read it again?
Talking about not going 20 innings back in the day. He's talking about the Ghost Runner.
Ghost runner.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason is because there are rules that have made up baseball for a long time.
Yeah.
And on the rare occurrence, you have a really long extra inning game where your bullpen gets torched. However, to be honest with you, then you send a guy down and you bring up James Nail, and then you restock your bullpen and you get through it. The Ghost Runner's just like, oh no, what do we do?
him out
Put
there.
runners at second, game over.
I know they want to improve the product, but also usually there's an economic factor in all of this. And they know if they keep going the same way, they're going to keep having to add big league roster spots like they did already.
Yeah.
Like because you need more pitching. You think all these owners want to spend another $700K on an extra dude and keep bringing dudes up? That screws up the whole 40-man when you have a 17-inning game. Then you got to send somebody down, bring somebody up. They don't want to pay for an extra dude or two.
I don't like the rationale of why the Ghost Runner's in place. I just don't like it.
You like 3-on-3 hockey overtime? I think they're similar gimmicky things for
Yeah.
the regular season, which don't personally bother me.
I think 3-on-3 is fairer. I think adding a guy at second, because let's face it, if you have a well-pitched game, getting a guy at second is gold. It's not the normal outcome of a game. It's similar in a way with hockey. I get it. I just think the 3-on-3 is fairer. Like, you're just totally saying, why not put him at third?
Put him halfway through third and home plate. So he just has to, take one step.
Why not have CB Buckner pick a number and the two managers guess?
But both teams
What a
get the
baby.
same rules.
Yeah, I just think it's odd. All of a sudden, you got a guy at second base.
He's just there. Hello.
There's strategy there. You gonna bunt?
You going to bunt?
I don't like anyway.
No, I know that. I know their strategy, and I think a bunt has been demonized. It's gone too far. A bunt is just a tool in the toolbox. There are times it's a smart move.
Cam.
I know that's for the sabermetrics folks. They hate bunts.
Well, because they literally look at the probabilities
it.
of winning and they say you've just decreased your chances of winning many times. Like bunting with a guy on second with no outs.
I get it, but there are times where it's a valuable tool in your toolbox, and hitters should be able to drop down a bunt.
I like bunting for hits.
If you're going to have a shift, a bunt is a beautiful thing to do.
I like the clock. Who wants to watch somebody adjust their body armor for 2 minutes? All-knowing expert. Yeah, man. I get that.
I do think so. We had pitch calm, which didn't work sometimes.
Like
Tonight-
the first pitch of the
Yeah,
game on
right.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So you have pitch calm, which doesn't always work, and then you have the pitch clock. How do you navigate that?
I'll tell you what. When I watched that first inning, I hate looking over and seeing Wilson Contreras with a big old remote control on his shin guard. It just doesn't feel right to me.
I get you on that.
It doesn't feel natural like the baseball we grew up watching. Well, I mean, what if the ball hits that thing?
See,
You have like
then
a
it
remote
breaks.
control on your shin guard.
it's not so much the lump. I thought because baseball is such a sport of habit. Like all these guys have gone through,
Yeah.
little league and everything, looking in at signs, and there's a certain rhythm to it. And now you're saying, by the way, that rhythm is gone.
Gone.
And I thought pitchers would hate it, and they don't really. So if pitchers are okay with it, I'm okay with it. I just think the technical side, if you're on a clock, like how do you do that? If your pitch comm isn't working and you got a problem and you're on the clock, like
it's going to happen
It's a lot of
during the World Series. Watch.
It's going to be chaos.
It'll happen in a huge monster playoff game.